It would have been thrown off regardless.
That's
Good
true.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Nita.
Good morning, Daphne. And good morning, everyone else. It is, October 21st, 2022.
Already. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's like, you
Yeah.
know what? Like, I have to think of something different to say every time we do a show because it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. It just seems to be my opening.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
You ready for this, Daphne?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or Ragin 2 Promotion.
If I couldn't make dreams come true, I should just let them all go. When life seems impossible, look from a new angle, change just one little thing. When life feels intolerable, find your true source of love. Focus now, focus on love.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
If you are an independent, catch the craze! Making moves on your own, catch the craze! On your grind in the streets, catch the craze! Join the movement, catch the craze!
Let's do it, Lage. Good morning.
I just have to mention that bump for Sacrimony is just like, I mean, I really gotta up my video game. I really do.
Yeah, she really brought it. Not to mention, like, speaking of Sacrimony, real quick,
and Tina and whatnot. I mean, it's like I just gotta learn how to do this better.
Mata Sorcerer is the one who is doing Sacrimony, and she is going to have an early bird special on that campaign where you get all issues of her books for $15 freaking physical copies.
Dang.
Yeah, she's crazy, but hey, yeah,
you know,
do it.
You know, so there you go. So all links in the show notes below. So hello, good morning, everybody. Might as well get this started, right? So who's in the chat today? It's Friday. I mean, everybody's still dragging their asses to
Patrick.
Hello, Patrick.
Over there. Hello, Patrick. And he says,
Patrick. Yeah.
Are we yelling? Oh, Tina. Good morning, Tina.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I know. It's like that's how we wake ourselves up sometimes. You know? We just have to yell at each other until we're like, oh, okay.
Oh, and the porn bots are here.
Oh, are they? Very nice. Very nice.
Good morning, porn bots.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought we were able to shake them off for a while. So
until last night, they jumped all over Tina and Rodney's stream too.
Okay, well, you know, they went into hibernation, so now they have they're like cicadas. They're just coming out again in mass. Oh my goodness! And yes, and I see you, the two people who are watching us from regions beyond. You know, so thank you for joining us on the show. Joining us, watching us. You know, but the thing is, if you want to be on the show, come on over to YouTube. Join our sexy people in the chat. Join the chat, you know, and we'll talk to you directly. We'll yell at you directly. It's like, so there you go. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the furry animal fantasy, the furry fantasy adventure, furry funny animal, whatever you want to call it, anthropomorphics.
Nope, that word is banned here.
Yeah, I know. It's such a long. Nobody ever says it correctly.
No.
Fantasy adventure, tall tales, and my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, launching November 7th. Links in the show notes below. Make sure you hit the notify me button so you get notified the second the campaign goes live. Yes, and in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube through my channel at Daphne Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So like I said, come on over to YouTube. It's a hit the share, the like, the subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we go live with a show. And yes, and especially if you're watching us from Facebook and from Twitter. Yeah, like I said, the water's good here. It's a lot more fun over here. So come on over, smash all those buttons. Don't smash the buttons. Just hit one. It's like whatever you need to do. So there you have. Make the algorithm gods happy.
That's it.
So there you go. So take it away, Nita.
My name is Nita Lanning. I'm a writer, vlogger, blogger, editor, bouncer of porn bots, and I run this shit over here.
Yeah, she is our producer. She is our everything. She is the keeper of HR in the background. Right. So it's Friday already, and it's like it's like I would, there's no point in me saying I'm tired because I'm tired all the time. There's just been a lot going on, for goodness sake. But so what you been up to, Nita?
I'm tired too. I've been okay. So first of all, like I know this is like totally not comics, but anyway, it's a vlog today. Okay, so the restaurant review we read last night, and you're like, it sounds like it was just a disgruntled. No,
well, I mean, they literally did. The food is awful, and the portions are so small. I mean, it's like they literally did that.
But you know what? If I had to write a review, I would say the same damn thing. Okay,
the food is awful, and the portions are too small.
The food is awful, and the portions are too small. I paid $32 just for myself for an order of falafels, the vegetarian grape leaves, and hummus. The hummus was just like slick, greasy baby shit. It was just gross looking. It was awful.
They put too much in.
The falafel had no flavor. I swear it tasted like does Red Lobster have hush puppies? Some kind of it tastes like just fried cornmeal, and it's not even cornmeal, it's fucking chickpeas.
Right.
And let's see. Oh, and the grape leaves were terrible. Like it was just like the leaf itself, you can't really fuck that up.
Right.
But it was like inside was just mush. It was like tapioca pudding texture.
That's why you need to come here, Nita. You need to visit me. And it's like, because I could get you better food out of a truck for cheaper.
I could get better food out of a freezer than that shit. I'm not even kidding. Like,
because
I've had grape leaves out of cans that were better than that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but that's really, it's like, cause it's like, cause if I like want falafels, there's literally a truck that I just have to walk a couple of blocks to get to, and it's like and it's all good. It's
and they were like this big. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Oh my goodness,
they were like this big. I'm like
they were pellets. Those aren't falafels. Those are pellets. You're supposed to feed them to the hamsters. Yeah, no, nothing sucks more than bad food, especially when you are hungry and And
I was, because I've been clearing myself off of caffeine and added sugar, processed white sugar, and like that's all I wanted. All I wanted to make me happy was some fucking food last night. That's it. And I was cussing before we even got home.
Yeah, no, that's the worst. That's the worst. Yeah, it's like on my end, not necessarily not necessarily food related or anything, but I did finally schedule a haircut, so I can finally get these awful split ends taken care of next week. So, it's like I've been. I think it's easy to say that I've been neglecting myself as well for the sake of the work,
we
and it's
all
like,
have.
yeah, and it's like a kind of. It's not good. It's not
No.
healthy. It's like sometimes you really do have to kind of step back and reevaluate, which is what we did yesterday. It's like
Yeah.
Nita was helping me reevaluate some stuff, but I just wanted to I just had to talk about this particular thing that I'm going through right now, especially with all this talk about AI and how AI is going to take all our jobs away and all that stuff. And what's really funny is that how we don't realize how much AI's been messing with your shit for a little bit longer than
Oh,
what's
yeah.
been going on. Although this is my suspicion. So what happened? So I'm a little frustrated today because for the past since I think like Tuesday, I've been going back and forth with the printer over a proof that I'm trying to get done. And I'm testing out a new format. I've used this printer before. I'm not going to mention any names because it's like, I still do overall like them. And I'm hoping, and it's like, we're trying to rectify things. So it's not like there are, it's like, it's difficult because of other reasons, not because they're unwilling to help me.
Right.
So I'm testing out this new format. And there was absolutely no reason for me to think that this format needed anything different than what I was doing before. Maybe like different measurements or whatnot, but that was pretty much it. So I got the initial proof in. And I swear to God, it's like I wanted to cry when I saw it because there was a bleed on the spine that they didn't remove. So I ended up with kind of like a double image on the spine, and it was just like the proof was perfect in every other way except for this. And it's like, okay, so it's like, what, it's like I said, I've done a lot of work with this printer before. I just have to like, okay, what happened, right? And red flag, well, the first thing is that they were understanding, and they started the process on trying to get the proof rectified, trying to get everything rectified. Actually, it's a little misleading to say it was a proof. It was the actual order. And so that's why I really wanted to cry, because it's like I did like a minimum order for these. Everything looked fine up until this point. And when I got the final order, it was this problem.
Right.
And and for the amount of money that I spent on it, it's like, yeah, it's like I had wanted to cry when I saw it. So, but like I said, we're working to get it fixed, and they're going to reprint the order for me. But here's the thing, though. So I sent them the files. It didn't help that they tried to pull, you approved it that way. And I go, the fuck I did.
Not to mention they had contacted you previously
for another issue with the cover, and which I was able to fix, but the spine issue was never an issue. That they never mentioned this is what's going to happen. They just told me that I needed to put more bleeds on the sides, which I did. So they tried to pull it, you approved it this way, and I told them the fuck I did. I would never have approved, because they even showed me the proof that I approved, which is not how it looks like on my end when I'm uploading it to their website. And I explained to them, like, this is what I see when I approve the proof. I don't see a spread. I don't see a spread. I have to like give them the cover file in 3 different pieces. I don't want to get all technical into it. But so we go back and forth, right? And finally it's like, okay, send us the spread. Okay, so I send them the spread, which for those of you who don't know, it's the entirety of the cover, the way it's supposed to look. Like if you laid the cover flat, that's how it is. It's like where before, it's like I was giving them the back cover, the spine, and the front cover as 3 different files. Now they just wanted the entire spread, which I gave them to them. Okay, problem solved, right? You would think problem solved, right? No, they said, well, we need a file of the spine with a bleed. Okay, already I'm suspicious. So it's like, okay, fine. Here's the file. So I fixed the file so that I didn't get a double up of the text on the spine, which is what happened. So I fixed it, sent that to them. Okay, fine. Everything looks great. Or at least that's what they're telling me. And then they go, okay, you can go check out the new proof now. So I go check out the proof. And not only are they not using the spread that I gave them, but they're using the 3 pieces that were the original, that was like the initial file before they told me to do the spread, but everything was reversed. Like the back cover was the front cover was the back cover. The only thing that was correct was the spine. And I'm looking at this and it's like, I'm not even looking at this file for 3 seconds and I see that it's wrong. Why are you not? Why is nobody seeing this? Right? And then that's when it hit me. Nobody is seeing this.
No.
You know, from the very beginning, because even when they showed me the proof that I supposedly looked at, that I supposedly approved, the errors are right there. I'm like, going, what the fuck? I would have never have approved that proof. So no, don't tell me I approved this. I did not approve that. You know? So, you know, and I didn't understand, how is it that they allowed this to go through pre-press into production and not even anyone in production is checking this work. And then when I saw this and I saw the new proof with everything reversed and jumbled, that's when I realized
it's not a person.
It's like, it looks like nobody is looking at my files because nobody is looking at my files. And I'm like going, holy shit, Nita. I think their entire pre-press production is all being done by AI.
And I think you're correct.
You know, because it's like the mistakes that they keep showing me are too obvious. Hey, Russ. Yeah. The mistakes that they were showing me were way too obvious.
Right.
For it to be anything else that no goddamn human is looking at this.
Right.
You know? So I'm going back and forth. I'm this close to just saying, you know, fuck you guys, give me a refund. But it's like, you know what? No, I need to figure out how this ends. Because if I want to print anything with them again, I have to know how to get through their system. You know? I was like, yeah, right.
She's gonna fight you, Patrick.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna fight all the bots, I want to fight all the AIs. You know, it's like, so again, it's like, so I email back the lady who's handling this for me. And it's like, you know, it's like, look, I'm being polite. You know, it's like, I go, look, now that I know what's going on, I feel like I have a better understanding of how I can tell them what's happening. Right. So what I did is I copied what was on the screen with the new proof. Oh, no. So and it's like, here's a new file. You know, this should be it now, right? This should be it. You know?
Think.
Right. I get a new proof. Now we're back to square one. It's the same fucking problem that they messed up on my initial order from the very beginning.
And you know what? It's so minuscule. But then the more I thought about it, the bigger the problem got. And here's why. Because guess what? When that book's on my shelf, guess what I'm going to be looking at?
The spine. Right, exactly. You're going to see the flaw right there. You know, so all of a sudden I'm back to square one. And then I was convinced that it was an AI that's doing this shit. And what it is that as long as everything fits the parameters of what the AI is saying, this is a correct file, nobody is questioning it. You can see the bleed that they're supposed to be cropping out on the spine. It's not supposed to be there. And it's like, and I went, and so what I did is like, okay, how am I going to explain this to the person who's dealing with this, who's
so they'll
not
actually look at it?
So they'll actually look at it. So what I did is that I got, because I had the trade paperback done with them, same printer. So I went and got a screen grab of the cover proof that was approved for that cover, for that book. Had no problem with it. It was the exact same setup, and they were able to merge all the 3 files together to do a complete cover. Made a screen grab of that. Made a screen grab of their proof of the questionable proof that they're asking me to look at. And I put them side by side, and I pretty much go, look, this is what you're giving me. I'm not understanding why this is an issue. I'm not understanding what I'm looking at. Here's the same image that I used as a previous cover for a previous order that went without a hitch. I set it up the exact same way. The only difference between the 2 files are the different sizes that I needed, to format. But the setup is exactly the same way. It's like, what's going on here? What's going on? I don't understand why this printed correctly, but we're having so much problems with this one, right? It was the first time she told me I can't that she's showing this to a human being.
Oh, good.
And she says that I am talking to my lead technical designer or whatnot, and they're going to be looking at it to see what the issue is. So it seems like there's something that I guess is glitching on the AI's part, that it's not cropping where the artwork where it's supposed to, and it's just mashing my files together with a bleed that's not supposed to be there. So it's like, okay, all right, okay, maybe by Monday I'll have this figured out, And it's like, so now I know for sure the problem is not on my end.
Right.
So it's like, no, it's like, no, I did not fucking approve it that way. It's like, the problem is not on my end. As far as I'm concerned, I get like there's nothing else I can do with this cover to give to them. As far as I know, if they want larger bleeds on the outside, I can give it to them. But the thing is, though, it's the bleeds that are on the inside that's messing them up. So,
and you didn't have any problem with volume 1?
No, I had no problem with volume 1 whatsoever. In fact, every other book I've been using this new, which, mind you, it's like I learned this technique in InDesign off of actual publishing websites where they were showing how to set up your cover properly for printing. And this was where it worked so well. And I hope not. Oh my God, Patrick, I really hope not. That I've been updating all my files to this new technique. So, and it's been working like a charm up until this point. For some reason, this format, or more likely where these books are getting done, for some reason is different than how all these, because the company is kind of like, I don't know if they're like I don't think if they're a broker as much as they have contracts with all of these different printers in the United States and Canada, where if they, it's like, so they can like spread out the jobs, it's just under their banner. But this particular thing that I'm getting proved is actually happening out of the country. I mean, out of the United States. So, or out of North America, let's just say, it's like, it's in another country.
It's overseas.
It's overseas. There we go. That's the word. That's the word I needed.
Across the pond.
There's something going on over there in their facility that I, like I said, I'm really hoping that I can get this, because I swear to God, once you guys see what this book that I'm trying to do, I mean, look, it's like, it couldn't be more perfect. I mean, I swear to God, it's like this book couldn't be more perfect, but except for one thing, they cannot get their shit together over that spine.
Right.
You know, and it's like, and it's kind of driving me nuts, but at the same time, I'm feeling like, okay, now that I know that there's an AI involved, and because an AI is involved, everybody there is being trained to not pay attention to anything. Oh, the
Right.
AI did it, which is honestly the real problem I have with AI. Is that people think the computer did it, so it's always going to be perfect, always going to be correct, and if anything goes wrong, it's all user error. And it's like, not necessarily. Like I said, my files were correct. Now I'm convinced my files were always correct. Something is set up wrong on their
Right.
AI that's not setting it up correctly. You know, and the fact that nobody is paying attention to this until I keep pushing and pushing and pushing. AI is spineless. You see, spineless implies that there was something there to begin with. You know, I mean, it's like, you can't say an invertebrate is spineless. It never had it. You know, so and the thing is, though, it only reminded me of a friend of mine who he works in publishing as well, and he says AI doing production has been a thing for like the past 10 years. You know, he says it's like most of the time he just comes in to check over the final work. There is really nobody else there putting together the magazines except for a computer. They just dump everything in the computer, the AI puts it together, and then he does the final check on it. And that's it. Up until that point, as far as I'm understanding, nobody sees the files until until it's ready for print. You know, and that's kind of like the frustrating thing. And the thing is, though, it's like, and because of that, people are learning to not pay attention. You know, I mean, like I said, the mistakes, I was catching them like that. I'd open up the file and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is that? Like, not even a second, and I see what the problem is. But they're like going, oh, it worked perfect. And it's like, according to what parameters?
Right.
I mean, I'm looking at it. How can you look at this cover with everything jumbled up and tell me this is correct? You know, so it's just, yeah. So, I mean, this is really what the AI future is going to be like. You know, honestly, I think that this is something that, you know, it's only going to get worse before it kind of like, because that's the thing. People put so much faith in what these computers can do, and it's like, no, it's like the computers can only do what its human programmers tell it to do. You still have to look over what's going on, you know. But I guess, like, in the end, the moral of the story, though, is that no matter, you know, is the, you know, sometimes the best laid plans are not the best plans to get laid, right? You know, that it's like, no matter like that you always have to keep yourself, you're kind of like yourself open and your schedule open, which is also the reason why it's not good to have a very tight schedule that doesn't allow for things like this. Because what if I had needed this book for a campaign?
Right.
What if I needed this book for an event, which technically I do, you know?
Yes.
I do need. It's like, I told them that the books that they sent me, it's like, I needed these for an event and I can't use them. I cannot use them, you know? So it's like, you know, so yeah, so it's like, luckily my schedule is, you know, kind of, you know, open enough that's like, okay, we can still wait for it. We still have time, you know, to get this done right, you know. But, you know, it's like, that's what's going to happen. And then it's like, okay, you know, yeah, I could have just as easily as says, you know, fuck you guys, cancel the order, I'm taking my business someplace else. But then it's like, you know, up until this point, they were perfect.
Right.
So is it really worth it for me?
They are still trying to work with you.
Right, exactly. So in the end, is it worth it for me to be a complete bitch about it and just say, you know, fuck you guys or whatnot? No, of course not, because I don't want to have to go find another printer, to have to go break someone else in, and then maybe to change all my files again because the printer has a slightly different setup than this one. I don't think there's any reason for that. Like I said, they're being very helpful. They're being, they're reprinting the books. The only thing is that we're just hitting this snag as to getting the book cover correct for it to print correctly. So, and that's the thing. And I don't know. And it's like, in a strange way, it's like, now that I know that it's an AI probably doing this, because honestly, if they tell me, oh, no, we don't do that here, it's like, well, you have to fire everybody then. It's like, look, I used to work pre-press, and every little thing I had to keep an eye out on. And I had to keep an eye out for. It's like, I would have never have allowed something as blatant as this go out. So I mean, yeah. So I'm fighting the robots right now.
That's another thing too. The printer you're using does put out some of the best quality books.
Exactly. So yeah. So currently I'm fighting the robots now. That's why I'm tired.
Morning.
But that's I'll make sure it's like, I'm hoping that by Monday I'll have an update for everybody as to how this is working out. So yeah. So moral of the story, it's like, you know what? If something can go wrong, it will. You just have to be you just have to be mentally prepared for it, because that's just what it is. That's just the reality of the situation. So speaking of the reality of the situation
and things that could go wrong,
we have a guest coming up. We have our very own Chad Perkins coming on in just a minute. We're going to run a bump, and then we're going to we're going to learn all about the legend of Sparkledog, and
don't say a woo.
I know, really. It's like, don't really.
And the porn bots are here to visit.
Well, hello.
All right, here we go.
Hit it. Oh my goodness. Oh, hello. Hello. Our very own Chad Perkins in the house right now, crawled in through the cat door.
Yes. For the cat food and vodka. Yes, that's what I came. You put it out and I came. I'm also the porn bot and also the AI that has been telling Daphne that everything is great with her books.
Right. Yes, so. Exactly. I know. It's awful. It's awful. But So for everybody who doesn't know who you are, who are seeing you for the first time, so Chad, tell the peoples who you are.
I don't fucking know. So my name is Chad Perkins. I am the writer of Blue Lullaby through Marcosia Enterprises. I also do, right here, against their will, Shots with Comics at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays with my buddy Kit. We get drunk. We talk about comics. We're very mean. We cause all kinds of problems for Nita and Daphne. We are the problem child.
All right. Well, it's like it happens. It's like but
the orphanage doesn't take refunds.
Exactly, and you gotta have those bad eggs,
right?
Like the ones where you could be like, hey, you know what? I don't just dump it onto Chad and Kit. They'll do it.
Right, there you go. They'll do it. They'll do it. So the thing is, okay, so let's, before we get into the oddness that is Sparkledog.
Yeah.
So it's like, you didn't just come out of the womb writing comics, did you? I mean, so how did that start?
So when I was but an egg in my mom's I actually started writing comics. I got into comics in 2011, and I know people beat me up for this, but my first comic that I actually read completely was Brian Michael Bendis's Moon Knight. I know, but I didn't know.
We'll have to start somewhere.
I know. And then I picked up Chew, and everything was fine. Okay. But I started writing after I started a podcast called Comics Are Cool, and I did that for about 5 years, interviewing people and talking about comics. And then I started thinking about it, going, you know what? I review this stuff, not well, but I review them. Why don't I just put my money where my mouth is and write them? And then that was when Blue started. So then Blue was published in 2018, and the whole Action Labs thing happened, and now I'm here writing Sparkledog.
Now, was Blue Lullaby originally with Action Lab, or it? Okay, so that was originally, and then Action Lab. I only know the company tangentially. I know that I've known other people who've worked there as well. I know that they had like a great implosion somehow.
That's an understatement.
Well, it's like, you know what? It's like, look, anytime creators aren't getting paid is always a bad time.
If you want to cause some drama, the class action lawsuit is actually public right now.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, you can go read it. It's awesome. I'm in there.
Oh,
that's cute.
So there you go. So it's like, we'll put a link to that in the show notes. I don't know. We're not putting a link to the class action.
Yes, I will.
I will go and give it. I will get it for you, Nita.
Send that to me, and I am putting it in the show notes.
No, it was weird. I did get the rights to Blue back.
Oh, that's good.
So that's how Mark Hosea actually picked it up a week later. So that was nice. But yeah, so now so far Mark Hosea has been doing really well with Blue, and I'm very happy.
Oh, that's
a great book.
Yeah, and now thank you. I'm very happy people are enjoying it, and now I'm writing an Abomination.
Right.
So,
well, you it's like, what is it? It's like you got to get everything out of your system. That's So right. now here's okay. So how do you go from writing something like Blue Lullaby, which I don't know, how would you describe that? Like, it just seems like Sparkledog is such kind of like kind of a little bit more out there.
It's more, I can agree with you like that. Well, so Blue was a very simple detective story. It was like Men in Black meets Monsters Inc. is the way I like to describe it. And it was just this simple story of child kidnappings, and this woman, Winter, teams up with her monster under her bed, Blue, and they have to solve the child kidnapping cases. It's bloody, it's fun, it's full of cliches. I spoiled the ending.
One of the best twists in comics and forever.
Oh, please, but thank you. I know. That's because I wrote it. No, but Sparkledog, is definitely more of the more experimental thing that I wrote. It actually came up where me and Blake Matthias, who's the artist, we were at our local furry convention. God, that's coming out of my mouth.
It's okay. I've been there. I know it. I've been there. I've been there.
Look,
we all passed through fandom once at least.
Oh no, I've been 3 times.
Uh-huh.
No, I help Kit every year at that one because it's always a good time though. Like, I always have fun.
Right.
But it was me and Blake. We were having lunch and we were helping Kit sell his furry porn art at the table.
As one does.
As one does. Yep. I would flip right through it. And I would be like, and then we have the orgy page.
Right. Yes.
So much semen has glazed my eyes.
Right.
Anyway, but we were sitting at Blake and I were sitting at lunch, and we started talking about how cool the furry fursonas are, because people put a lot of work in those things. Yeah. They're really cool looking. And I go, so when these people like take off the suit, is the suit wearing them, or are they wearing the suit? Like, do they see everybody as like furries when they put on the suit? Is it comes to some kind of weird magical thing? And of course, alcohol was involved with this conversation,
right? Of course,
too.
Yes.
But so we developed this really dumb story about this guy who buys a fursuit online, and that's a real thing. Like, people can buy fursonas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, and they are not cheap.
They're not, and I'm in the wrong business, damn it.
Yeah, but do you know how to sew?
No.
All right, so there you go. So you're not in the business you don't know how to do.
Dude, I was looking at a fursuit the other day. Just the head was $900.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, and the quality varies too.
Yep. And there's also multiple different types of fursuits.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have the full fursuit, the hands and gloves and head.
Right.
Like, you can. Yeah, it's a strange thing. Oh yeah,
Right.
Glipnir. Man, that manga's terrible, but the anime is great. I will say that, yeah, Glipnir was a part of the idea too. But we ended up coming up with Sparkledog at the furry convention.
Right. And even the words, even the name Sparkledog, that is such a fandom sounding name. Like,
yep. Well, that's what we wanted, because
Right.
everybody is very bright and colorful at these furry conventions. So we were like, we just need the most vomit thing that we could think of.
Right.
And then Blake was like, how about Sparkledog? I'm like,
Perfect.
oh, yeah. I was like, wait, you mean like that Elisa Frank vomit bullshit?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Right. You know, so have you done, but the thing is that, like, so this is technically your second book that you're writing, or are there like other things that you're working on? It's just that these are the only two things that are public right now.
These are the only two things that are public right now. I do have a couple of scripts that I'm currently working on. I do have an artist in mind for my third project. There is a book released currently, but it's lyrical, which is through Lucha Comics. That one's out, but I'm just not promoting it yet because Sparkledog's kind of been on the front line.
Right.
It's getting way more attention than it needs to. So, but yeah, no, I have a couple of other projects I'm currently working on.
Right. Okay. Now the thing is that you have a show that you're, that on our network.
Yes.
The Shots with Comics, and this was a show that you were doing before you brought that over here. Now the thing is, though, it's like Shots. Now the type of show that you do, where pretty much you roast people's comics while heavily inebriated.
Yes. Yes.
And freebasing horseradish. I don't know what
what the fuck was in that bottle that you mixed in the drink.
Oh, at the intro?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So that was gingerbread rum, Aztec tequila, which smells like if you want to drink what tastes like a morgue, it tastes like a morgue. French dressing,
French
lime
dressing.
juice, and then lemonade vodka.
Right. You see, that's why we have to keep you outside.
Yeah. I did.
Shit all over the carpet, Chad.
When I recorded that video, I wanted to do the most disgusting thing I could think of.
Yeah, that was, I think that was, short. Yeah, no, really, it was, because that squeeze bottle horrifies me.
Look, it tasted just as bad as it looked.
I could imagine. Now here's the thing. So you're roasting people's comics, and most of the time, you're kind of mostly sticking with mainstream stuff, which, you know what, it's like nobody gives a shit if if people are talking shit about a big company. Yeah, it's like you're $1 billion corporation, you can take the ribbon, but the thing is, though, it's like when you kind of cross over into kind of like smaller press, and especially like when you start mingling with a smaller circle, how do you kind of keep yourself from being on the wrong end of a baseball bat?
Oh God, that is a topic that has come up very frequently. Honestly, what usually ends up happening is most of the time we've only had like one or two people really get mad at us for roasting,
right?
But most of them are pretty like, oh, these guys are just fucking around with us. It's not really meant to be insulting. It's just meant to be funny and encouraging for you.
Right. I mean, I guess depending on how you take it,
Sure, yeah. We're never going to sit there and tell you, and that's one of the things I try to strive for with them, because I've talked with people behind the scenes too, and I've said, hey, we just do this for the camera. It's all fun. We're never going to tell you to just give up.
Right.
On your comics. And that's one of the things that we always try to strive for during our reviews, is we're never going to tell you to never stop creating.
Right.
And that seems to help quite frequently. And some of the guests, some of them, like Mike Aston, he loves when his books get roasted, who does Turning Tricks. George McHale will always send us stuff. Yolanda Zanfardino from Titan Comics and Image. So we get still some pretty rotating people, but it's it's really just us being friendly is what it comes down to.
Okay.
Because behind the scenes, on camera, we're assholes. Like,
Yeah.
we really sound like it. But behind the scenes, like Nita's talked with us behind the scenes too. We just shoot the shit and chill.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
We just hang out, and it's like, oh, these guys are just roasters.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Well, because it's like, because the thing is, though, because, it's like now you have your own, now you have Sparkledog out.
Yes.
Which I think that depending on how people look at your show, Sparkledog is a very easy target.
Oh God, yeah, and I'm hoping so. like, no, seriously.
Buy this book and review it.
Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people have sat there and said, "So you're doing a furry book?"
Right.
And I just go, "Yeah, I guess I fucking am, aren't I?"
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like there's no denying. The type of book that you're doing. So why don't you, Nita, bring up the campaign so we can look. That artwork looks familiar, Nita.
Yeah, this is created by an AI.
Right. More like a C. Michael.
Yes, C. Michael AI.
Yes,
I sleep with the artist.
Yes, C. Michael Lanning does the main cover for Sparkledog. So you already so you told us the premise. I guess that a guy buys a fursuit online and hijinks ensued, but not the normal kind.
Correct.
Right.
He gets taken on a horrific multi-genre adventure, and I know people are like, what's multi-genre? Each issue is written as a different genre of comic, and it all gets more and more uncomfortable and more horrifying as it goes.
It's supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yes, and poor Quinn is unfortunately this vehicle.
Now, how many? Okay, so this is for the first issue that we're seeing. So, how many issues is the entire series?
6 issues.
6 issues.
Yep.
And here is the full version of C. Michael Lanning's cover, and this is the main cover. This is it. But you do have variant covers.
I do.
As well.
I have
Okay, so when you say multi, okay, so again, like going back to the whole multi-genre thing, so is this first issue kind of like the introduction, or is there like a specific thing that you're kind of like, what is the genre for this first issue as opposed to like the second and third? And
it is your cliche introduction genre,
right?
Like it is your what happens is that Sparkledog talks to Quinn and explains to him this really stupid plot of furries were guardians of the world and they protected humanity, but a major event happened that sealed them away, and 4 guardians have 4 crystal paw pads that keep from summoning Sparkledog, and Quinn has to go and collect them. So that's where it kind of goes into this fantasy-based exposition style comic, because we run into a lot of that type of stuff where comics will just explain the plot in the beginning.
Right.
And it's like, and that's fine. I mean, there's never anything wrong with an introduction comic. So it's like, it just makes you buy the next one.
Right. So would you say that this is kind of like a satire of I guess like all these genres that you're going to I guess focus on. So like for issue 2, like what would be like, what's the genre of issue 2? I guess kind of like to give more like a clarity of what to expect from the series.
Did you ever see the Muppets movie?
Oh no.
Issue 2 is kind of like, have you played the game Little Nightmares?
No, I'm not a gamer, so
okay.
Yeah. The only game I'm playing right now is a porn game, and
oh, me too. Which one?
Seas of Chaos.
Oh, cool. I will download that.
Yes. I swear, at this rate, they should be giving me like some kind of affiliate.
Right, for real.
As a porn bot, I will download that.
Right. Yes.
No. Issue 2 is kind of like a Little Nightmares, the Muppets movie mashup. Where it's him going to New Orleans and finding a character, a Kermit the Frog ripoff called Laguna Boyle. Yeah, which is actually a parody of the band Laguna Coil, or Lacuna Coil. And then our issue 2 or 3 is a noir speakeasy Great Gatsby style story.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so considering that you want to do like each issue so kind of like, I guess, like thematically different, but still have the overall, how do you, I mean, it's like, how do you think that, I mean, how did you like organize that so that it just didn't feel like, okay, these are just all issue ones, or these are all just like individual issues, as opposed to, no, there's a encompassing story, but the tone is going to be so different in each book.
So issue 1 or issue 2, I watched some Muppet movies. I'm not kidding. Like, this is how I actually get into my writing process and everything. But issue 2, I think, or issue 3 was probably the most challenging. Is what I did is I started playing the game LA Noire and listening to like different 1920s to 40s music. I was talking with my grandma at one point. She's not that old, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I was just asking her, what was it like back then? And I was also researching different slang and tones and just how women, because Carmeow is the one in the 3rd issue, and she is singing for her life when everything is happening. And that's actually really fun. But it was really just me diving into different researches of the different genres, but also just different types of medium to really bring it together. Especially with, I'm going to tell you now, doing these multiple genres, lingo and dialogue is very important, because you have to feel like you're actually in that. But it's also too, if you're reading it and you realize, wow, this dialogue is really bad for the 1920s and 40s, and I'm like, yes. please understand that this is like Sparkledog's world of this. Like, this is just what he's projecting. But each issue does end very similarly, because it is them telling the legend of Sparkledog.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the thing that Blake and I have kept similar in it, is that when it gets more towards the end, the Guardian starts telling them this elaborate story of what Sparkledog is. And it gets more and more elaborate and more stupid as it goes on how we portray it. So the 2nd issue, Laguna Boyle tells the story in MP format, but the mouse cursor is in the way of the video.
Oh no.
So it's on screen because he forgets to move it. The 2nd issue is that Carmeow is singing it, and it's more like a stage play. And then it just gets more and more ridiculous and dumber.
Right. Now here's the thing, because it's like, obviously you're playing around with that, and it's like, it's supposed to, you're saying it's supposed to get dumb, it's supposed to get stupid. Now here's the thing though, it's like, because this is kind of like, it's like, are you afraid that like you could run up against that line where it's like, no, it's like, I want this to be stupid versus this is actually stupid. Like it's kind of like I'm not saying that, it's like it's kind of like satire that you have to, they said that you have to be really, really clear in your intentions, or people are going to take it literally. They're going to take it for the opposite of what you mean it to be, your satire to be, kind of like the way people take Starship Troopers seriously or RoboCop seriously.
Oh man, Starship Troopers.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. It's like, but
we're
like,
supposed to take that seriously.
Yeah,
right. No,
it's like, oh, what do you mean? It's not about rah America type of thing,
No, you stupid. Go watch it again.
Right, exactly. So how do you like keep yourself from crossing that line, from trying to portray something as stupid and actually being stupid? Like it's such a hairline.
It is. All right, it is. And actually, last night, Blake actually said it properly, so I will try to quote him as best as I can. Is, yes, RoboCop is a very serious movie.
Right.
So is Judge Dredd. Good Lord. Go watch those. When Blake and I started doing this, we realized that the only way people would get it is if we just kept writing more and more absurdity and stupidity as it goes. And the reason why is because it starts out very simple and then gets more and more complicated and just more and more ridiculous, because the world is expanding. So Sparkledog keeps expanding Quinn's vision, as he goes. So like the third issue is just going to be a total bloodbath. The fourth issue is going to be, and it just goes so forth and so on. And that's kind of the thing that we wanted to get people to understand is this book is not meant to be taken seriously. If you want it to be satire, you can. If you don't want it to be satire, you can. You can just have fun with it. And that's what we're trying to portray is anything that we think of, we're going to try to incorporate it in. And if we don't, then we're going to try save it for, we don't have plans for anything after these 6 issues, but you never know. I've beaten around Gloomdog for a little bit. So, you know, the history of Gloomdog. But so it's more so like it's mostly, I guess, in the way to keep it more in line is just we've been having fun with it and it seems to be working. This book is so experimental to both of us. I've never written a noir story. I've never written a sci-fi story. I've never written a porn, which no, I can't write that because nobody will publish it.
Well, especially nowadays, it is a little difficult. Yeah,
I'm looking at you, Fenris Publishing. Take my book. No, but Blake has been drawing like these new material that he has, so he's kind of been incorporating weird and wacky things and backgrounds. It's been a wild ride, and the best way to keep our sanity is we're just having fun with it.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's like that's because like, yeah, you said that you started doing this, I guess, professionally in 2011. And it's like, yeah, so where do you kind of see yourself, you know, because, you know, you like kind of going with this, like, do you have kind of like something that you're working towards, or are you just like so experimental at this moment that it's like,
I just want like I don't really have like a career goal when it comes to creating comics. I just like seeing what type of stories I can create and get on paper. And I think that's one of the things that I like trying to keep as a focus, because some people will say, I can make a ton of money in comics. Oh, comics are so much fun and it's so easy. I'm like, no, do you realize how difficult and sometimes painful it is?
Yeah.
But I try to just keep the mentality of I'm trying to have fun. I want to create weird and exciting stories. I want to make people pick up this book and go, oh, there's a book about this. And I'm like, yep. And pick it up and read it. Here's Sparkledog.
Yeah, no, it's like we have a friend that they collect every type of esoteric indie comic they can get their hands on, and it's like, yeah, and it's like I know that if they have seen Sparkledog, it would just like fit right in their collection. It's so strange.
Get them to buy it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You know, so you have Sparkledog is 6 issues. It's like, you know, so I'm assuming there's going to be a trade at the end. Now here's the thing. So this is your first Kickstarter, right? And you know, and you know, you're learning like the rest of us that it's a little bumpy.
I butchered the whole launch.
You know,
I'm not afraid to say that.
It's a little bumpy. You know, but the thing is, though, you're kind of your campaign is moving along. I mean, I have no doubt that you're going to reach a goal. Now the thing. So what's the difference? What's like the main difference? Do you feel between doing Sparkledog on your own and doing something like Blue Lullaby at a publisher? Like what's kind of like the main difference that you're seeing that it's like,
I'm not restricted to the publisher on what I can and can't do. Like sometimes with the publisher takes a look at it, they're like, oh, that doesn't fit into my demographic, or that doesn't fit into our company. And that's been probably the biggest challenge lately is promoting this, because I have shopped this book around too, because of course. But that's kind of been where I've been reading the different guidelines of each publisher. They have these like strict guidelines. Like some of them are, oh, we only look at PG. And I'm like, well, my book's about cannibalism. Like, is that PG? I don't know. What's considered PG now? Like, so it's with creating Sparkledog and doing a campaign and doing it on my own, I kind of get to push the boundaries that I don't think I would ever be able to do before. Like Black Mask, you have to be inclusive and you have to be like, how is your book diverse? And I'm like, I don't want to type a paragraph on that. It has a gender fluid character. Sparkledog.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty fucking diverse.
Right, yeah. So, would be PG in the 80s. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to consider that Planet of the Apes, when it was originally released, that the Charlton Heston. It's like, that was a G-rated movie. Planet of the Apes was originally a G-rated movie.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. So those standards really changed.
9 to 5 was rated PG back in the day. There was fucking pot cussing. They kidnapped their boss, tied that motherfucker to a ceiling.
Yeah, I know. That was,
Oh, well then, I guess I'll go based on their standards.
Yeah, it's right. That's true. That's true. As long as there's no nudity. That's true.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, yeah, Disney, if you saw Werewolf by Night.
Right.
Did you watch that?
No.
Man, they got away with the PG. I think it was PG-13 rating with like decapitation.
Right. Well, because you know what it is, because it was in black and white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, they have all these standards, but it's such a nitpicky thing that it's like you're going to all these publishers and you're seeing their list, but it's like there's more to it on top of that. So did you find, so on top of that, like, so did you feel like if you had to do it yourself, would Blue Lullaby would have been a different kind of story than what you produced for Action Lab?
Yeah, I think so. And the reason why is because some of the gore scenes in there, I didn't want them in that silhouette form. I originally wanted them to be shown. When I originally wrote that script, it was broken down where Blue does bite off the head and you see the corpse mangled.
And that's like the only things I could think of that would have made that book better.
Right. And that
with graphic violence.
Yes, and that was my problem is when I hired Andrea to do it, and the silhouettes look fine. Like I'm still very happy. Yeah, I'm still very happy with it. But when we were sending it off to a publisher, we had to cut back. But God forbid, Lord of Gore from Devil's Due is on the shelves, and that thing is bloody as hell. And Grizzly Shark is from Image. So what the fuck, people?
Right? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I know. It's like, you know what? So there you go. So if you're looking for a publisher for your work, just remember that there's pros and cons, even creatively, for what you're doing.
Right.
In how these companies, each of these companies, they all have different standards. And it's like, so if you want to really do the book that you want to do, you self-publishing really is the freest so far. The way to do it. So Legend of Sparkledog on Kickstarter right now. You're kind of like you're close. I think it's, like I said, I really do think you're going to make goal. So there's still, so how many days do we have left on Sparkledog? I think we still have like 20 something days.
25 days.
Yeah, so plenty of time. Plenty of time, but why wait? Just pledge, just pledge today and just help the campaign. 25, just help the campaign move along. So we can see more of the ridiculousness that is Sparkledog.
Yes, please. Sparkledog is probably the strangest thing Blake and I will ever create, and we are very happy.
Well, so far. Never say never. Never say never.
Yeah. My demon fish one is pretty wild too. So, but a guy it's happy meets fishing. With Mad Max involved.
Well, because you need to, but I mean, I guess that this is a story that you're shopping around, or eventually you're going to do a Kickstarter of that as well.
I'm probably going to do a Kickstarter of that as well.
Right.
Because I feel like kickstarting, one of the things that I have discovered is publishers do sometimes look at Kickstarters too. Right. And I'm not doing this to get it public, get it with it, but it does help.
Right.
But really, again, I like the fact that I'm not restricted to a publisher's standards. Right. Also, too, their submission processes are a nightmare too.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a cover letter. Okay, cool. my name is Chad. I'm a porn bot. I did this. I did that.
All right.
Here's 8 pages and my kidney.
All right.
Like,
Oh my god.
And then you never hear from them again.
right. Yeah. And then I've had 2 publishers so far say no, and that's fine because that means they looked.
Right. Yeah.
And one of them I was really kind of sad about. They only said no. They're like, oh yeah, hell yeah. But we can't because our submissions are closed right now. Like, yeah, so resend it. And I'm like,
oh,
okay.
come on, guys. Get your
Come
shit together. Yeah.
Come on, you know who I am.
Right.
Please just let me in.
Well, so there you go. So, and that's why, it's like we ended up having to put a latch on the cat door.
Yes.
So,
because I will claw at it and tell you.
Right.
See, Kit will be quiet. I'll just claw at the door.
Right, there you go. Yeah. So, you want to tell the people where they can find you anywhere else other than Kickstarter, of course?
Home.
Well,
at work.
Right.
So you can follow me at Casual Nerd Chad on Twitter. Right now I'm blowing up my Twitter with the Sparkledog stuff. So if you're like, wow, you're not posting any weird things, I'm like, no. I will be releasing my interpretation of Sparkledog soon. So I did a doodle.
Right.
And it's terrifying.
Wow.
And Blake's using it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like,
you can also find us at Casual Nerd Chad. I am Char. I am Pornbot. Yes. Hello. But you can also listen to me, myself, and Kit Jaspering at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time against Nita's will on Shots with Comics at 8:30 p.m. right here on the Indie Comics Network, where we get drunk, we get mean, and we review comics.
So we
also get in trouble.
Yes. So if you think you can handle it, you can send your books to Chad, but it is at your risk only.
You can
watch the show.
You can email us at shotswithcomics@gmail.com. Your book, I will show it to Nita, and she'll say no one will do it anyway. So, look, we've already got in trouble.
Yes, you have.
Twice. Because we're just learning how interconnected everybody is.
Yes,
now.
Exactly. So like I said, it's like, look, it's Marvel. It's $1 billion company. Nobody cares.
Right.
It's very safe.
If you want us to review your little indie book and you want us to roast it and have some fun with you,
right.
Look, just send it to us and you're like, hey, that sounded mean. Just message us and we'll be like, hey, Nita, stop. I'm trying to drum up business. You want people to like us. I have to show that I'm actually friendly.
Oh, there you go.
Send,
right. Yeah. We're trying to socialize him.
Yes. Send the C word to everybody.
All right.
Hello. It is me, AI.
Right. So there you have it. Legend of Sparkledog on Kickstarter right now. Links all in the show notes below, including the Shots with Comics as well, if you want to take a chance.
If you do.
Yes. So Nita, do you have any last words for Chad?
He's never going to let me on here again.
Right?
No.
It's
Don't send your comics to Shots with Comics. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, it's all love, Chad. It's all love.
I know.
It's all love,
I know. I know.
So
I have to say that I'm obligated to.
Yes, there is. Nita does have a legal requirement.
She was
even in the beginning of my own, I have to be like, the views and opinions. Do not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Well, I did that with the interview with George McCall, where I actually played that little video because I was like, just in case.
Just in case, exactly.
Hello.
Exactly. So there you have it. Like I said, Legend of Sparkledog, Kickstarter, all links in the show notes below. Thank you, everybody in the comments, including the porn bots, for keeping it moving. Thank you, 10 people who are watching us from regions beyond. Thank you so much for spending this hour with us. We hope you were entertained by what you were listening to, because maybe you're not watching, maybe you're listening because you're working and whatnot. So
if you weren't, well then
just catch us on the replay. Just catch us on the replay.
And like, share, and subscribe. And remember, we have a fucking a link tree.
Yes.
Yes.
Linktree / Indie Comics Network. Everybody's info's on there. All the primary hosts of all the shows and all the network contact info in one simple location.
There
Yes.
you go.
You get to deal with me. You don't have to deal with Kit. I promise.
I love Kit.
I know too. He's a wonderful man. He will help you out. If you ever want like indie tips or like art tips, he will love to talk your ear off about it. Oh, and I'll be on Thursday Night Throwdown next week with Blake.
Oh, there you go.
So,
There you go. Yes, and I think on Sunday you'll be joining JD also on Talking Comics on a Sunday.
Yes.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I told JD I'm sorry beforehand.
Right. Yeah. So that's okay. He'll take care of you.
Oh, okay. He'll beat me into shape, huh?
Yes, he will.
You're turning the barrel, boy.
Exactly. We all.
Oh no, it's sticky in here.
And on that note, if you want to see more about my artwork and see more about my upcoming campaigns and all that fun stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site, egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress and whatever updates I may have. And remember that you can check me out here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lager, Lager, which simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you press all the buttons, like, subscribe, the whole thing, make the algorithm gods happy, so more people can get eyeballs on this train wreck that we put out every multiple times a week. So so here we are at the end of a Friday. We will be back on Monday at 11 a.m. again with another interview, with another vlog. No interview on Monday.
Just us. What?
Us. Oh, good. It's like
All right,
it's all mixed up for October.
I'll be
So
there.
yeah, so join us at 11 a.m. on Monday. And on that note, from the words of the ancients, especially now, eat your food, moisturize. It is moisturizer season, people.
Oh my God,
it's chilly here now, so moisturize. We will get that Gold Bond endorsement yet. So moisturize. Mind your business.
Or HelloFresh.
Right? Yes. Or HelloFresh. Yes. And which would go with the eat your food? Yeah, that's true. We need a HelloFresh.
Call us HelloFresh.
Call it, yes. And
OwO.
do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. Why would you want to fake this anyway? So
I don't know. OwO, bitches.
Yeah, there you go. So see you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.